guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, my name is Samantha and I do fashion and lifestyle videos here on YouTube. For today's video, I wanted to do a continuation of my fall capsule wardrobe and do a winter capsule wardrobe. So for this video, for the first few minutes, I will be chatting about all the pieces that I think are essential for winter, and then for the remainder of the video, I will be styling these pieces in as many ways as possible. So if you are totally not interested in the items that I'm showing in this video and you just want to skip to the styling bit, then I will leave a timestamp somewhere on the screen and you can just skip ahead. But otherwise, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell, as I would love to have you here. But let's get into it. All right, before I get chatting away about all of my winter pieces, I do want to say that let's be mindful that everyone's concept of winter is slightly different. So the way I experience winter may be different than what it is in Barcelona, for example. So these pieces are very much catered to Canadian winters, and even then, the winters experienced in Halifax are very different than the winters in Toronto. So just a little bit of disclaimer there. The first category is coats. I think there are 3 types of coats that should be in everyone's wardrobes, and that is 1, a wool coat, 2, a puffer, and 3, a parka. And all of these serve very different purposes. So a wool coat is going to be your beautiful classic coat. It's obviously not going to be as warm as a parka. Most wool coats go up until I think -14 degrees. But wool coats are going to be very beautiful to go out at night, and it's just something that I think we all need at least one of in our wardrobe. The second coat is a puffer coat. Puffers are great because they're functional, they're warm, but again, they're very casual and a little bit harder to dress up. The third coat is a parka. Parkas are probably the least attractive out of all 3, but this is going to be the warmest coats that you can get. It's going to be functional, and it's meant for very cold winters. And I think being a Canadian, I have a parka and I get very good use out of it in our winters. Okay, and then there is footwear. Footwear is probably the thing I get asked about the most. And again, this is where the biggest discrepancies can happen. I personally do not like wearing winter boots, and when I mean winter boots, I mean these types of boots. Yeah, very clunky, very heavy. They're typically waterproof, and they're very, very hot if you're ever indoors. Here in Toronto, our winters are more wet than dry, and so I prefer to go for a rain boot. So the boot that I have been wearing the past 2 to 3 winters has actually been hunter boots. But these are not the original hunter boots. These are actually the refined slim hunter boots. So as you can see, they don't have the clunky heel. There is no texture in the front. They are much thinner through the leg. So much more classier, much more feminine. The nice thing about these boots is that you can actually buy inserts that go inside the boot that essentially winterize them. So they will make the boot much warmer for winters. If that is not something that you like to do, I personally have the inserts and I never use them. I find that a really warm pair of wool socks, kind of root socks, will do the trick too. So this is my footwear of choice for the winter. As much as I would love to say that I wear my leather boots in the winter, that is just not a reality. Leather boots will probably just get ruined with the salt and the slush. So for me, having hunter boots that are waterproof, that are warm enough to do a lot of walking, and that are comfortable to go indoors is perfect. The next thing is accessories, and I love accessories because I think you can really have fun with accessories. The first thing to kind of pick up is some sort of accessory to keep your head warm. So although I do have hats, for example, I have this lovely Holland Cooper pom-pom hat. Having a hat is really essential, especially if you live in a very cold area, to make sure you are keeping your little head warm. Aside from hats, something that I actually wear more than hats are ear warmers. Ear warmers are really great because they keep your ears warm, they keep your head warm, and they look really cute, and they aren't gonna mess up your hair, because honestly, that's why I don't wear hats. It squishes my hair, it flattens my hair. So ear warmers is something that I always love to opt for, and I think is such an essential piece in your winter wardrobe. And the next thing we all need is something to keep our hands warm. You can either get gloves or mitts, but speaking from experience, I much prefer mitts. Yes, it is a little bit harder to handle things, but I find mitts keep my hands much warmer than gloves, so the fingered gloves. And I always love to go for something that is knitted and something that is lined. That's something that I find to be much better than just like a singular layer of knitwear. You always want your gloves to be lined. And again, if you're in an even colder area, getting something that is leather and much thicker, perhaps even waterproof, is probably something you're gonna wanna pick up. And the last kind of accessory that I love are scarves. As you can see here, I have my Burberry scarf. That one is wool. Having a very minimalistic scarf, like a Burberry scarf, is really nice because it's a great way to dress up your coats. It's obviously gonna keep you warm, but the other type of scarf that I really recommend is something made out of wool. This one here is kind of like a triangle scarf. It's made from 100% wool. You can buy these in much bigger sizes, but I find having a bigger wool scarf that you can really wrap yourself around in is essential, and it's gonna keep your chest and neck warm, but also sometimes because they're so big, they end up keeping your ears warm as well. So that is it for accessories. The last kind of thing I wanted to chit chat about is layering, and I think layering is really key when it comes to winter. So I think the first thing we all need is a pair of tights. I have these ones here. These ones are from Aritzia. You can get tights in so many different types of denier. You can get them in different materials. Obviously, if you get something that's thicker and made out of cotton, it's going to be much warmer than something made out of nylon. But I think this is a great layering trick if you're ever wearing denim, which can get very cold in the winter. Putting a pair of tights underneath is perfect. And of course, your layering pieces. When it comes to layering pieces, you always want to make sure that whatever it is that you're wearing, where it may be a t-shirt or a turtleneck, you want it to be tight fitting. You never want your layers to be loose. You always want to make sure that those base layers are very tight fitting, as this helps keep in the warmth. And then pants. I think in the winter, when it comes to pants, the tighter, the better. If they're baggy or loose, that cold air is gonna get underneath those pants and it's gonna be very cold. So I always prefer slim fit trousers, and I personally steer away from denim as I find jeans get very cold. But of course, if I do wanna wear denim, I will just put a pair of tights underneath, as this makes it much more warmer than just wearing raw denim on your skin. All right, I really tried to keep that as quick as possible and as condensed as possible. But now that I have chatted about all these pieces, I did want to let you know that I'm going to link everything I own in the description box. And you by no means have to have the exact same pieces I have, but I think it's going to give you a good idea of what are some essential pieces for winter, and of course the pieces that I love to wear. And most of these pieces I have had for years. But now let me show you how I would style all of my winter essentials. Guys, so that concludes today's video. I really hope that that gave you some ideas and inspiration for your winter wardrobe, or if you're a total newbie to winter, I hope that kind of helped you out in what things you may need to survive cold winters. But before I get going, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell, as I would love to have you join the family. I will see you guys in my next video, which is Vlogmas Day 1. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.